Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Voice podcast. I'm Vernon R.E. Jones, managing broker, owner of Jones Homes. And for over 30 years, we have serviced the 7-county Denver metro area. First-time home buyers, are they vanishing from the market? Well, basically the share of first-time home buyers has fallen to its lowest level on record. As last year, young adults face a longer path to home ownership. As the housing market surged last year, a typically large segment of home buyers went missing. Usually first-time home buyers are around 30% of the buyer pool. Amid higher home prices, bidding wars, and fierce competition for limited inventory, first-time home buyers dropped to their lowest numbers on record. And this is according to a National Association of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers. Further, the age of the typical first-time home buyer swelled to a record high of 36 years old. It's not surprising that the share of first-time home buyers shrank to the lowest level ever recorded, given the housing market's combination of historically low inventory, persistently high home prices, and rapidly escalating interest rates. Of course, we know the Fed yesterday raised the prime rate for short-term rates for businesses and consumers alike to 0.75 of a point, 0.75%. How that's going to affect mortgage rates? Usually they work in opposite of each other. Inflationary pressures are causing them to rise just like prime rates. Probably the fixed interest rate right now is around 7%. I don't know what mortgage companies are going to do with the new increase of raising of the rates by the Federal Reserve Board yesterday, again, of 0.75 of a percentage point. Those who have housing equity hold the cards. They have fared very well in the current real estate market, however. First-time buyers are older as a result of having to save for down payments for longer periods of time or relying on a generational transfer of wealth to propel them into home ownership. First-time home buyers comprise, like I said, around 30%, down from 34% the year before. In 21, going back many years. That's also nearly half of the 50% peak share first-time home buyers reached in 2010. Understand that 50% of the first-time home buyers in 2010 were first-time home buyers, which was mostly triggered by the first-time home buyer tax credit. And of course, since 2011, the share of first-time home buyers has been under the historical norm of 40%. As buyers face tight inventory, rising home prices, rising rents, and high student debt loads. Faced with surging rents over the past year, first-time home buyers are struggling to save enough to afford a home. For example, 92% of first-time home buyers recently surveyed say they cannot afford a mortgage in the current market. Nearly 63% of all consumers say they're willing to move to a state with a cheaper cost of living in order to afford a home. Saving for a down payment is the biggest obstacle to home ownership that her first-time home buyers cite, and they're looking for financial help. 22% of first-time home buyers have used a gift or a loan from friends and family to come up with a down payment. The typical down payment for first-time home buyers was 6% in 2022, compared to 70% for repeat buyers. Further, the idea of a starter home is becoming less practical as more first-time home buyers say they intend to stay a long period of time in the property they buy. The median expected home tenure for first-time homebuyers has risen to a record high of 18 years, up from 10 years in 2021. When I first started in the business, 32 years ago plus, people were on average, moving every 5 to 7 years. That has increased. First-time homebuyers also are pooling resources to afford home ownership, as we said earlier. 15% purchased a multi-generational home over the past year to accommodate aging parents, grandparents, or had some adult siblings be their renters. That is slightly higher than the repeat buyers of 14%. So in other words, it's higher than what repeat buyers had to do. The biggest reason first-time homebuyers cite for purchasing a multi-generational home was wanting a larger home that multiple incomes could afford together and for cost savings. I am aware of multiple down payment assistance programs in the state of Colorado. JAFA is one. CHAC is another. Aurora Homeownership is another. And there are multiple other first-time home buyer programs in other various counties as well. Those options are still available to first-time home buyers interested in getting in on owning a home. And I would tell them, do not be discouraged. If some of you get my e-newsletter, and in it I talk about that mortgage professionals that I've known that have been in the business and have known for over a quarter of a century, and they may have been in the business longer than I've been in real estate, are expecting, if a recession occurs, expect rates to drop to 5 to 6%, where they may stay for some time. We may not see a 3% interest rate for many years to come. So the normalizing of rates being at 5, 6, 7% will continue as a standard for years to come, I believe. When I say years to come, let's just say for the next foreseeable couple of years. Any questions? If you're a first-time homebuyer needing information on down payment assistance programs, or you have any other questions about your particular situation, because all real estate situations are different, feel free to give us a call at 303-359-8218. This is Vernon Jones. Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Voice podcast. And always remember, please be safe.